Okay, so a lot to talk about on this Monday afternoon. Um and I'll say that 95% of it will not be good. We'll start off with these pathetic, disgusting, awful, dreadful, unwatchable New York Jets. I usually say there's not much to say when talking about the Jets because it's just like, same old Jets, not much to say there. Last night, or excuse me, yesterday afternoon was the exception where I have to say something. They are really that bad. Um, I'll say this. This is what I'll say about the New York Jets. The Jets have reached a new level of bad. Obviously, we know that, but I truly believe this. I'm not trying to get a laugh. I'm not trying to be funny. I genuinely, truly believe this. I don't think there's been anything in Earth's history. There's been nobody in Earth's history that's been as bad as the Jets are at football. And I truly, genuinely mean that. As an organization, they are nobody on the planet ever in Earth's history at anything. Doesn't have to be sports. It could be watching TV, drawing, anything. Nobody has been worse than the Jets at football. And that's just the truth. I mean, it's not up for an argument. You can argue the Browns, the Lions, whatever you want. They are the worst organization in sports history. There's really no way around that. Now, instead of just sitting here bashing them, let's go over why I'm saying all of this. I'm sure everyone watched the game. If you didn't, good job. Good job. You saved yourself 3.5 hours of misery. Not only can you not score versus a terrible, terrible Panthers team, and I mean, granted, they've been in the game, right? Panthers have been in most games they've played in. Spare me, the Panthers aren't a bad team. The defense, our defense looked good. You're playing the Carolina Panthers with Bryce Young. Spare me the BS. Oh, they just beat the Cowboys. Great. Who cares? They got 3 wins on the season. Who cares? They suck. They give up the most points in the NFL. Okay, the Panthers, they have got to be one of the worst defenses in the NFL. You couldn't score a touchdown, man. The Jets couldn't score a touchdown. It shouldn't be aggravating at this point, but it is. It's aggravating because it's the most unwatchable football you have ever seen in your life. And this is coming from people who watch the Giants. This is the most unwatchable era of Jets football ever. They're 0-7. They're 0-7. I had them winning 6 games. 6 games? Could you even imagine them winning 6 games now? I can't imagine them winning 2. They're 0-7. They just didn't score a touchdown at home versus the Carolina Panthers. They couldn't get in the end zone. They had me and you playing wide receiver. Unbelievable. Here's what I wanted to get into a little bit more with the Jets. Not only did the Panthers, you're playing the Panthers, which is a bad defensive team. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But they were okay with trotting out that offense yesterday. And not the play calling, because we'll get into that. But I mean, look at the players you had on the field yesterday. They had me and you playing wide receiver for the Jets yesterday. That's who they had out there. Okay? Listen, the Panthers are such a bad team, okay, that not only were you in the game, the whole game, the Jets had a million chances to win. It was a one-score game for the most part, the entire game. The entire game. Again, Jets couldn't score a touchdown, but Carolina was handing you the win. as this usually goes with these New York teams. But they were handing you the win. Here, take it. We don't want to win. Bryce Young got hurt. They brought in the Red Rifle. Andy Dalton came into play. And you couldn't get in the end zone. They were handing you the ball. We don't want to score. We suck. Please win, Jets. And they said, no thanks. Glenn said, I actually want to go 0-17 and get fired. That's what I want to do. That's what it seems like with the Jets right now. It seems that they completely are not trying. That's clear. They are clearly not trying to win. And if they are, that's even more embarrassing somehow. It's even more embarrassing somehow if they are actively trying to win these ball games. Aaron Glenn. That's what it boils down to me. Aaron Glenn. A lot of fans like him. I saw a video of some interviews with some Jet fans outside the stadium yesterday saying Glenn's not the problem. Good buddy of mine saying Glenn not the problem. I think Glenn might be the worst head coach they've had since Gase. I think he is. Saleh was better. Saleh seemed to motivate them maybe a little bit more, I guess. Glenn is a complete and total fraud up until this point. Not only because they're 0-7, because he had this fake tough guy persona where we're not the old Jets. A lot of you got on me in the comments for that. I said, and I think it was week 2 or week 3 versus Tampa Bay. I said that drop the talking about we're not the same old Jets. This is a new Jets team. You know, we didn't win this one, but that's when he was clapping when they lost versus Tampa Bay. Yeah, that was good. But back to the main point here. Glenn has put on this fake nice guy persona where now he thinks he was going to win the fan base over by saying, this ain't the same old Jets. We're going to play tough defense and we're going to fight and we're never going to be out of this game and whatever bullshit he wants to spew to the media before the season started. Well, now you're 0-7. And not only are you a laughingstock, the laughingstock of the NFL, but you are winless, you don't have a quarterback, you have a running back that wants out, and teams are calling about Jermaine Johnson. They are completely falling apart. They have fell apart completely. And it's actually crazy to think that anyone would believe that we believed him. That's the craziest part, is that we actually sat there and said, Glenn might be the answer. You know, he played for the Jets. He understands how this organization works. No, he don't. He clearly doesn't. They're 0-7. They haven't won a game. Oh, Justin Fields. That's something else we got to talk about, too. My God. I can't take that guy. He sucks. Now, I hate to get on here and, disrespect professional athletes. They're much better than me. But it doesn't take a genius to see that Justin Fields might be, and again, I'm not trying to get a laugh out of anyone here. It might be funny, but I'm not joking. Justin Fields actually may be the worst quarterback in NFL history. I'm not kidding. I have not seen many other quarterbacks worse than him. And trust me, I watched a lot of Zach Wilson games, and that guy sucked. Hackenberg and all those bums, Petty, whatever bum you want to throw in there for the Jets over the years. Not even the Jets, any team ever that I've ever watched, he actually is the worst one. I'm not kidding. If he played running back or receiver or something growing up or in college, probably would have had a way better NFL career. The guy is not a quarterback. That is clear to anyone out there. And I started him in fantasy. Can you believe that? 2 weeks in a row. What am I thinking? Again, hate to bash on the guy, clearly not the answer. Everyone kind of knew that he was not the answer. I mean, let's be real here. This was kind of a year to progress as a franchise and, see what they had. Probably not make the playoffs. And, if Fields was good, he was good. If not, you find someone next year, no big deal. It has somehow gotten worse. Somehow it's gotten beyond that fact. They are so bad that you can't even. They're so bad, man. There's no progression. They took 18 steps backwards. They need to redo everything from the top to bottom. Now, I will say this. The Jets are the most poorly run organization in New York. Not New York, actually. The Jets are the most poorly run organization from top to bottom in sports history. I wish I was joking. Browns, Lions, all those Cubs. Well, not recently, but you know what I'm trying to say here. There's a lot of bad organizations in every major sport across the world. The Jets are legitimately the worst one ever. From top to bottom, coaching staff, players, ownership, GM, anyone in the front office, it's a joke. It's a miserable, miserable, miserable experience. Let me plug this in here. Genuinely a miserable experience as a Jet fan. I also wanted to touch on Mendoza real quick, because it clearly looks like the Jets are getting Mendoza. Seems to be an issue with the mic. Okay. Can't hear me, okay. Okay, can hear me. Okay. Now you can. Think I was plugged into something wrong there. But that's really annoying because I was talking about the Giants there for a good solid 20 minutes before I guess no one could hear me. Okay. Well, I guess at that point we'll start over then. But pretty much what I was saying was that the Giants have been so unbelievably pathetic that NFL teams had won 1,602 consecutive games when winning by 18 in the fourth quarter, with under 6 minutes left until the Giants lost last night. Back to the point of what we're doing with this pass rush. Couldn't tell you. This Giants team has been built on Burns, Thibodeau, Carter, Dexter Lawrence, this great, insane pass rush that we all thought was going to be so good. And they are so good. They're all great players. But they are clearly not being utilized the way they should be. Because Burns was screaming in the tunnel on the way back home, or in the way back to the locker room, I should say. Why are we dropping back 8 is what he was screaming. We're playing soft zone because that's exactly what they were doing. You're up 2 with 30 seconds left. Defense, you know they can't gain. If they gain 30 yards, the game's over. 30 yards, that's it. That's all they needed. Maybe a little bit more than that. But give or take 30 yards. And now you play this soft zone and you're giving up chunk yards because you're rushing 3. He clear. Doesn't matter if you drop back everybody. Someone's going to get open eventually if you give the quarterback all day to throw the ball. If he has nobody in his face, he could do whatever he wants. He could sit there and wait for someone to get open. 33 points in the fourth quarter alone. Unreal. Stuff that you never, ever see. Ever. Again, 1,600 games never happened until last night. While there is a ton to complain about for the Giants right now, there are some positives. Don't get me wrong. Unlike the Jets, where you can walk out of that stadium and watch that game and say, oh, wow, they actually may never win a game ever as long as I'm alive. There are some positives with this Giants team. The Giants realistically could be 5-2 right now. That's being honest. They could have beat the Saints, they could have beat the Cowboys, and they could have beat the Broncos yesterday. They didn't. Point blank. They didn't finish. They didn't finish the game. That's simple. But if that gets better next year and the defensive outlook and game plan is a whole lot better, then we're looking at a real good, competent team in the upcoming years. And that's what we should care about right now. I know it sucks. I know that collapse was monumental. I know that the Broncos fans were trolling the Giant fans all week, and that feud was going on, and it would have been really nice to beat them. But in the grand scheme of things, this Giants team has looked good with Dart. Dart looks like the real deal. The offense is competent. They have stars on defense. Things are trending in the right direction. That's what we care about right now. Again, you want to see wins in the win column. I'm not arguing that. You would love to see wins in the win column. But you don't have them. You don't have those wins right now. It's okay. I understand everyone's getting impatient now. Okay? But this is what happens when you have incompetent coaching, but good players. And the Giants do. They have good players and incompetent coaches who all deserve to get fired from top to bottom, same as the Jets. Dable is a bum. The defensive coordinator needs to go. Offensive coordinator needs to go because that's why they're losing games, not because of the talent on the field, unlike the Jets, where it's a little bit of both. What else did I not get into here? I think I pretty much covered everything with those two games. Honestly, I mean, anything that I wanted to, at least, for the Giants, because that was just an absolute disgrace. Through and through, an absolute disgrace. But there's positives to take away, unlike the Jets. Yeah, so I guess we'll try to be back tomorrow with some hockey and basketball. Basketball hasn't officially started yet, but Rangers and Islanders have gotten underway, and a lot to talk about there. Both have looked pretty. So, yeah. This has been the first podcast I've done in a while, or live show, whatever you want to call it. But, yeah. So I guess we will see everyone tomorrow, and make sure to call in. Stay tuned.